Singer 185 99K, they are the same inside. If you remove this plate here, there are 4 tiny screws, so the slot is really small. You need a very flat tip, a very thin tip of screwdriver. And also when you remove this, be careful, you see there is a left pin here. The screw goes, basically the knob, you need to unscrew the knob as well. So the knob has a screw right in the center, flat screwdriver. Just remove that, lift the knob, and the knob is screwing on the right hole, and on the left hole you will see this small pin with a spring on it. Just take a picture before you remove it from there, and also just careful when you lift the plate. Careful so you don't drop that pin inside, it's risky. Just be careful, keep the machine on the side like this, not standing, so the pin stays vertical. Just be very, very careful, lift the plate gently, and then recover the pin and make sure you put it back in place the same way. So when you remove that plate, you see this small, there's like something wrong around here which rolls back and forth. You want to lubricate this thing. Let me just grab, it's difficult for me to film because I don't have a light. Let's try to turn this on. So you want to put a piece of grease here on this surface, but also a tiny droplet of oil on both ends of this cylinder, because it rotates and also moves back and forth. So you want to lubricate that thing. And then at the top here we have the fork, the rear fork. There are 2 forks here, I'll put you a picture. So there is a rear fork and a front fork. The rear one, you can tell, perhaps, it's very difficult to find the right angle. There is, right there, you can tell the shiny surface. This is the friction surface from the rear fork. So you want to actually get a wire, a stiff wire, a long one, and put grease on the tip of the wire. I suggest rotate the other end of the wire so you can handle it easily, and just try to reach with the flashlight exactly that shiny area. So you have one cylinder here, then you have a shiny area for the rear fork, the one that I tried to film, but you will see more details when you look by yourself with the flashlight. And then there is another fork, a second one in front here, and if you look from underneath the machine, and this is even harder to film than the other two, you will see perhaps a shiny spot right there. Let me try to use my finger. It's right at the tip of my finger, right there. Let me try to see if I get the right thing. No, sorry, I had the poor angle. It's too difficult to film, but you will see it by yourself. I'm not sure if it shows. Not sure, but you will see by yourself. You will see there is another shiny surface right in this corner. So again, you get that long piece of wire and try to have a steady hand with, put a dab of grease, not too big, but I mean like a drop of grease, the size of a pea, a small pea, and try to place it directly on that shiny surface. And then you don't have to remove the handwell. Rotate the handwell by hand a few turns both ways after you grease the 3 surfaces, and don't forget a little bit of oil on both sides of the small cylinder, and rotate the handwell by hand a few times to spread the thing. And this, I think, it lubricates better than using the top holes, which are kind of confusing which one to use, but I'll link you the owner's manual for the 99. It should be the same for this one. By the way, I recommend you read in the manual for 99, they say to lubricate, I believe they say that when you put oil for these forks here, so basically these forks are supposed to get oil. What I'm saying in this video is put grease on them. Why? Because and try to use a quality grease. Don't use some random grease. It doesn't really matter what kind of grease, bearing grease or anything. Try to use a grease that doesn't smell. That's also important, because when your machine starts smelling, you won't like it. So a grease that has very, very low smell. The grease, when it's quality and you place it on those friction surfaces, will stay there for 30, 40, 50 years. You no longer need to oil that surface any longer. So this saves you time, and oiling through those holes doesn't really reach those surfaces properly. So, but also reading the, I don't know the page, but in the oiling page, where there's a page in the, look in the comment section, I'm going to link you the manual for the older model. 99 is the same for this one. The oiling page, it says with bold character, bold letters, to lubricate this top through this top hole, the front fork, if you want to use oil, to lubricate it when this pickup lever is at the lowest position. Just read them in that page, and if you prefer to put oil on it, be sure to have this lever at the bottom when you oil. I think you will see which holes they are talking about, but this is a detail that people will not think about it, because you need to rotate the hand well to bring this lever at the lowest. So I'm just pointing this, read that page as well. Now if you use grease, you don't need to worry about that point with the lever position here, because you are placing grease directly on the friction surface, so you no longer need to oil. The only thing that you still need to oil is the rear shaft, this one here. So the rear shaft is about where my finger is. I believe it is going to be probably the two rear holes, this one and this one, to reach the rear shaft. That's important. Don't forget to oil. Front shaft also has two holes. You cannot film them from this angle. There are two small holes, so you have one front shaft and one rear one. This is different than the two forks. The front shaft, brackets, so just my English. So this shaft long here, it's supported by one front bracket and one rear one at the end here. Then you have the two forks, and each bracket, the front and the rear one, has one lubrication hole, basically two lubrication holes, one for each side of the bracket. So don't forget to lubricate with oil, saving machine oil, the front and rear brackets. The video, it's for the two forks and that small cylinder, and I recommend put grease on them instead of oil. Don't forget, let me just throw this in there. Front here, you see the small, this, let's see, it's right there. This top hinge here, don't forget to lubricate it as well from above. Put a droplet of oil on both sides of the hinge. Don't forget that thing. These machines have a very complicated mechanism here. You need to look all around several times, not just once, to find all the hinges, but look in the owner manual. There's another one right there. Hide them. You need to lubricate from the top of this hinge here, from above that screw. So look in the manual as well and just locate everything, because there are many pivots in these machines. Also, let me finish with this. You see, so you have a hinge here. See, this hinge, it always takes two droplets, one on each side of the hinge. Rotate and see what's not moving or what's moving, and always put on each hinge two droplets, one on each side.